In a bid to influence public opinion, Simpson decides to build a new museum to house the treasures he is certain the catacombs contain. Simpson gathers historians, researchers, and linguistics experts from around the world to authenticate artworks and translate documents hidden away for centuries. A Benedictine nun, fluent in the languages spoken in the New Testament, is summoned to Rome to participate in the historic endeavor. A shiver traced the path down Jose Concerta's spine. He was accustomed to dealing with creatures of the jungle, but this priest was more frightening than the reptiles that slithered through the forest, or unseen predators lurking in the brush. He couldn't suppress the feeling he just made a pact with the devil.
Sister, the Vatican has summoned you to Rome. I sympathize with your doubt, but let me assure you these orders are for you. It seems your gift of language was reported to the Father General by a Jesuit brother at Loyola.
The Leonine walls of the Vatican loomed. The most famous church in Christendom, with its towering dome and encircling colonnade, sent a thrill through her body. Maria wondered what it would be like to work in the Vatican Library, amid books dating back to the dawn of Christianity, to touch documents penned by men who actually knew Jesus. Leon Kaminsky is an expert in the area of Oriental languages. He spent almost 6 years in villages in Afghanistan, Hindu Kush, and Outer Mongolia, mastering languages rarely spoken in the Western world. His expertise is going to be invaluable to the project. The world of biblical scholars is small. Most are known to each other. Cormorant. Eyes rove toward Father Gregory Lean.
Father Lean is an expert in medieval history through the Renaissance. His knowledge of the early church will validate the documents we find in the catacombs. Sister Magdalene is responsible for designing a computer system to preserve data on the thousands of historical items in museums in the Vatican, as well as those which are discovered during the excavations of the catacombs beneath the Vatican. Father Patrick Murphy recently discovered 300 bishops who made up the First Council of Nicaea in 350 AD, chose to leave out hundreds of documents in the church's possession. These discoveries are going to change the course of history, and we need to be prepared to manage the panic that many are going to experience, assuring them the church is still in control.
I am sworn to uphold the sacredness of our Holy Mother Church. Like parasites invading a host, erroneous ideologies attack our faith from all sides. It is my duty to ensure the Council of Cardinals finds clear passage through the sea of coming change.
The Father General radiated conviction.
Our task is to enlighten the world, to convince people our Lord, Jesus Christ, laid the foundations of our faith before he ascended into heaven. Upon thou, Peter, shall I build my church, and the church must endure at all costs.
The anger was so clear in his voice. Preston could almost see his friend gripping the phone so tight his knuckles stood white against a tennis stand hand.
Richard, this is going to sound mystical, and you pride yourself on being analytical. But I've got a feeling so strong I can't describe it. Somehow, some way, your daughter has the potential to destroy the empire Andrew Simpson is building. That may sound crazy, but you ask.
Curiosity Calbane is a two-edged sword. It can clear the path of discovery, or it can smite the unwary. The church is paving the way because when the day comes for the sleeping dragon to awaken, our leader wants to be ready to smooth the difference between the East and West.
The priest's eyes haunted him. There was another quality about the priest that frightened Cal. Something sinister lurked below the Jesuit's words. A predator's hungry eyes made Cal's flesh crawl, and a pang of horror made it hard to think when the Jesuit looked at him, rising slowly. Amariah turned to face Simpson. When she spoke, the bitterness in her voice was corrosive.
Those are your desires, not mine. You have been seduced by pride and ego. Andrew, don't you realize you are the beast? Don't you realize the dragon gave you the authority of office? Andrew, you do not speak with God.
An ancient scroll contains a prophecy. Her calling. The world will know. Because 5 coins will be placed in her hands. The first coin found in the catacombs. The second coin uncovered by Leon Kaminsky at an archaeological dig. The third coin left by a Shaolin monk on a train crossing Siberia. 2 more must find their way to the woman referred to in prophecy. Amariah felt a tremor of awareness pulse through her. She felt as though the emotional side of her nature had been set aside and she was peering through a veil, which suddenly made the events of the past few months turn crystal clear.
I know who has it.
The Southwest Museum wing lifted off the ground as an explosion ripped through footings designed to support the museum for 1,000 years. Like a dying leviathan, the enormous building shuddered, its girders screaming in protest.